Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude at BeyondMystic, and welcome to this special report tonight on Sunday, February 13. Of course, this is a repeat of the Siege of Ottawa reporting. An all-star cast with us this evening. So let me start with all of my introductions. You can find my co-host, Janine, here at Sending Ravens on YouTube, and also Tarot by Janine. Hello, Janine. You can also find my friend JSnip4 at JSnip42. His second YouTube channel, and also on his Patreon at patreon.com/Jason4. Joe, welcome back to the show. And not last but not least, and also fan favorite here on the show, Mr. Richard Woo Woo Dude. You can find him at woowoodude.com. Richard, welcome back. And last but not least, yes, our favorite astrologer, friend, producer, and everything else extraordinaire. Thank you so much for being here, Julie. You can find her at maisonjupiter.com on the web, and also at Maison Jupiter on YouTube. Friends, family, welcome back to the show. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
I am excited to have all you guys here. What an interesting cast of characters for one show. You lucky you guys in the chat, thank you so much for being here and joining us on this live interactive show. We'll be taking your questions, of course, and your comments as we go along this evening. We wanted to have this cool hangout with you guys tonight, share different points of views, bring the energy up as well, and try to basically let us breathe a little bit, a sigh of relief, take stock of all the victories, and also maybe forecast here the next couple of days and weeks so that we have a little bit more guidance and steadiness in our hearts here as we move forward. So with that said, my friend Joe here is going to lead us into a quick meditation to set the tone with his singing bowls. Joe.
Take it away.
Take it away.
Now we have a bunch of people here today, so I go, you know what? I'm gonna have to bring out a fourth bowl instead of the triples. Let me find a spot for it. So I got four of them. If you could see what I'm working with here, you'd be laughing. Here we go.
All right. Wow, that was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Joe. And you know what's interesting today, while I was reporting on Parliament Hill, I spoke to these two truckers, and I noticed quite as soon as they told me their name, they were playing a singing bowl right there in the middle of the truck. And I asked these guys, these two really tough neck Canadians here, why do you guys have a singing bowl? He's like, man, we're just trying to bring down the energy here in a peaceful love. And what did he say? Peace and harmony frequency. And he's like, yeah, dude. I'm like, yeah, I love it. So I said, hey, my friend Joe is going to play the singing bowls here tonight too. And thank you to all of our truckers who are doing their part here to bring this awareness around the world. So love these two guys. I believe one was from Saskatchewan and the other one from Ontario. Absolutely amazing. Janine, while I have you on screen also, why don't we start by setting the intention for the show tonight and ask some guidance from the cards here. What does universe want to tell us here as we start this Sunday night broadcast of the Convoy of Freedom here in Ottawa?
Wow, it really does feel like this. This is like the calm maybe before the storm. And it's like nobody knows what's going to happen next. See, that person's blindfolded there. So we're kind of just waiting to see, because really it's the move of the government, or who calls themselves the government in Canada. They need to make a move, because all weekend they postured they were going to do this, they were going to do that, shut everything down, this and that. And like the cards even said, I think it was Friday night was it Friday night? We weren't going to, none of that was going to happen. And pretty much what happened, it was all like smoke and mirrors so far.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's like we're in this holding pattern. This is in the middle, so the vibration has been brought up a lot. This is us, the people, what's in the atmosphere, the sun. So there's actually a lot of, well, first of all, it was warmer weather, I think in Ottawa even, but here in Alberta, it was really warm. It was like spring already. Okay, but this could also be just energetically a lot of warmth and love, like you were talking about, you were feeling. Mm-hmm. I was feeling at the Coots border, or close to it, as close as we got to it. Okay, so there's all this anticipation. Like everybody's watching, and the whole world's watching, because it's not just about the mandates dropping. It's not just about, this is a world situation, and we're watching the fall of, I won't say the C word, or the globalists. Like if our Canadian Mr. T goes down, apparently that's the domino for all of them to go down. And that's why it's been so difficult, and he's been so hard to work with. Like he's holding up that last domino for those guys. I mean, if that makes any sense. Okay, here's the near future outcome. So what I was asking as our intention going forward. Now, this is a nature loving and or very mothering card, but it can also talk about Mother Nature. So really important to get a little bit into nature, which I did for a bit today, which was absolutely brilliant. So everybody might want to do that. Go breathe some air in Mother Nature and get into some woods if you can, or something like that. But it could also be about now the universe, the earth and the universe. So I'm going to say, like, let the spirit world make a move. It's going to make a move is what that tells me. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, yeah, we got a big move by the universe. And this card's about, we're at the end, in the very end of something, in the very beginning. And this card's sovereign card. It's like the most free card in the deck. This person cannot be told what to do. She's completely independent. So I think, well, we're winning, people. And we need to just take a minute to maybe thank the universe, because they've been helping in the background energetically. The spirit world's been helping in the background, like it always helps me in my life. And it's helping the truckers, and it's helping all the human situation.
Yeah, very good. Well, thank you for that, Janine. Let me bring also Richard on the forefront here. There's a lot of people in the chat expressing their love and gratitude for your wealth, your health and well-being here, sir. So thank you for being on here tonight. Can you share in the next 2 minutes or 3 minutes here what your take is on the current situation, and perhaps where things are going here in the next couple of days or weeks here, specifically for Ottawa for this particular show? And as we go later into the show tonight, we'll talk about world events as well.
Sure. I know I had talked to Joe a little bit yesterday, and I was talking to Julianne. A lot of things, spirit was all over me yesterday. I mean, from one end to the other. And they kept singing a song to me, Bridge Over Troubled Water. And I think what also is happening worldwide is, you know, back when the 9/11 happened, that many people were cutting into what they may call consciousness or whatever, and getting premonitions, and the 222s are coming out and all this stuff. And you're right. This is the great change, and what they keep telling me is the changing of the guard, and this is worldwide. You know, the 2-2 parable is real serious. You know, it's been going on for about 1.5 years, but it's gotten stronger and stronger. And actually, you had a taste of it the other night when you just said, well, we can't really do it now. You know, and the spirit said to the next day to me, go to JC's channel. What? So I went, look, what do you want me to do here? He canceled it. And they said, look. And then I saw the 222. I went, oh, okay, here we go. But, 4 or 5 months ago, I did a live stream either with UJC or with Joe, and Spirit had come to me and said they gave me a date. And like I said, that was about 5 months ago. And it was February the 22nd of 22. And I know that this is part of the changing of the guard. This has to happen. A lot of people going into it with fear. It's like, really? There's nothing you could do about this. We're part of this. And you should be excited to be part of this incredible change that's happening to humanity. And it's going to happen. All right. The breadcrumbs that I had left on that last YouTube about Putin and things like this, are there. Now, in Canada, about 5 months ago, 6 months ago, I started talking about your prime minister. And I saw him falling down the stairs. And many people I've read up in Canada have been at wit's end, really paranoid. And I've told them all for the last 5 months. I said, I saw him starting to fall. And the funny part about it, as he was falling down the stairs, there were men surrounding the stairs. And these are the caretakers for him, people that'll hold him up. I saw them all turn their backs on him. And every time he tried to get up, he kept falling. And I went, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then another thing happened. And I don't know if he's your high command of the police force up there in Canada. You mentioned it a little bit when I talked to you for a very short time when you were up there. Instantly, Spirit said, oh, this one has much to hide. And basically, they wanted me to come out and say this because many people are watching this right now, and they're going to start researching this guy, and they're going to find some dirt on him. And this is the control. Understand, these are little strings. Okay, they're going, oh, shit, I really need to get out of here. But you can't because we have this over you. This is all going to come out. And your prime minister, yeah, so what? Castro's bitch son. Who cares? Okay. There's something way bigger that's about to come out. Way bigger. Okay. And I really believe this is part of the fall. Now, the other thing, the bridge over troubled water, this and that really bugged me. But it wasn't like I'm going, oh, this is a horrible thing. It's a troubling thing. Okay. Now, the whole world is watching now. If they make one mistake, what I saw from Australia, and I was talking to a lady in Melbourne yesterday, and all these other countries, the people are going to turn instantly, and they're going to go after the police. Every freaking country. And what Spirit had showed me yesterday when I was reading a person in Melbourne is she said it's so horrible there. I mean, so horrible. Elderly people are getting beat up by the police. And then Spirit put an SS on them. We all know what that stands for, right? When we go back to the Nazis. All right. And I just saw them and they gave me a word. They said it will start with the hooligans. I go, what the hell's a hooligan over there? These are the young ones. All right. Now, the young ones are drinking the Kool-Aid, but what's going to happen is they're going to see something happen to an elderly woman, is what I saw. And then they're going to rush and holy hell will break loose. It'll be like a slaughter. And police are going to fall one after the other. This is a huge worldwide event. But remember, the 2022, it's the changing the guard. It has to happen. It's connected to cryptos, the whole financial system, the SWIFT system, everything to bring balance. And understand they're going to be kicking and screaming. They're not just going to roll over, oh, I give up. Okay. But they're not going to be able to stop this divine energy that's coming in. They're not going to be able to do it. And they're in a hurry but they're out of luck. Yeah, interesting time. I'm excited about it.
Absolutely. Let me bring up two things here. You were talking about our police chief, Janine, and I did do a few card readings on him, and things are not going well for him. And of course,
really?
what you were saying and what Janine was saying a couple of weeks ago is now starting to come out in the open. All of his links to some of these pharmaceutical companies and other companies that he's worked for, including, I won't even get into it here so we don't get into trouble, but folks, just go check it out. It is online now for everyone to see. There's that. And Richard, when you were talking about 222 for 2-3 nights ago, which we missed the live show, Joe and I had a misfire here in our scheduling. Just tonight, before we went live also, I was typing a message into the screen, and look at there was 222 waiting right there on the poster here tonight. So again, there's a lot happening, and this is a friendly reminder from Universe about these fabulous 222s. On that note, let me bring Julie up on the screen. And Julie, why don't you remind the audience here some of the information we've shared with them during the February Astro Woo report, where we did talk about these alignments here of all of these twos for February and how that portends big change, not just politically, but also financially for the whole world.
Yeah, so on February 20th of 2022, so the USA is going to have what we call the Pluto Return. So their natal Pluto in 1776 during the US Declaration of Independence is gonna get the full revolution of the Pluto in the sky. So it's gonna be exactly conjunct its natal position. And so the US have its Pluto in the second house, which is the house of finance. And Pluto is also a planet related to finance. So it's going to be a huge death and rebirth, possibly of the currency, the US dollar, also the financial system and power. Because Pluto is also linked to power structures. So, and also pyramidal structures of power. So there's going to be, I think, huge upheavals in the US, but also worldwide, because it's going to influence the whole world. So we can talk about redistribution of power. So it's going to influence for sure everything that has to do with US finance, also secrets coming out, because Pluto is related to financial secrets, political secrets, so it's all linked with the finance world, right? Mm-hmm. And also there's going to be something that has to do with the production of goods, because it was exported in other countries. So the US are going to try to bring back the production, being linked to the 8th house, which is using other countries, sending production elsewhere. So there's going to be also supply chain issues and lots of ramifications with the US dollar around that date.
Wow. Fascinating times indeed for February. And folks, just the other day, I put the Astro Woo Finance for February on sale. And of course, we're still in this Mercury retrograde, and I've been running like crazy mad trying to report all of these events around the world. And I forgot that my coupon code was expired when I sent you guys the MailChimp notification for this rebate. So I went back and fixed that. So SAVE33 is the coupon code for this episode. You still have time to go and watch that. And of course, if you have your birth charts handy with you, also it will help you get a lot more out of these episodes if you know your sun sign and your rising sign. You can get those at maisonjupiter.com here. Janine, let's go back to you here in terms of what's happening on the financial front. You've been picking up for the last number of years here, reading for your clients, that at some point in the near future, a lot of them would see this huge uptick in their abundance. And there was a common denominator for all of those people. One, they were divesting outside of the system, meaning that they were entering a physical gold and silver and also crypto. But can you pull some cards also here to maybe take a pulse as to the situation here, where maybe the good guys are in their plan to implement maybe a new paradigm here in terms of organic economy, more fair economy here for the planet? Let's take an uptick from the cards.
Oh my goodness. Any card readers out there, pay attention. Look at these cards. Okay, so the first one I got was the Lovers, which feels like something's already running alongside. I think it's already up and running. We've got the World. It's just sort of hidden in plain sight, maybe, or like it's alongside, and it'll just come up slowly all over the world, is what that feels like. And then we've got the everyone's going to experience more abundance going forward. So that may seem contrary to how crazy the world looks right now and how difficult things have been for the last 2 years. So a lot of people will think, okay, that's got to be hopium. But I've been getting that constantly. It's like something's creating more abundance because we're doing the work, not less. So the human race has done is quantum leaping right now. And I think a part of our reward will be more ability to attract abundance if we're open to it.
Right. Well, that's beautiful news. Joe, let's talk about today in the live stream. We had the opportunity to share with the audience the fact that this Freedom Convoy is not only teaching us about our freedoms and the power that lies within as opposed to the power elites, but it is showing us also the huge discrepancy in our mainstream media and how they report our reality, and not to say the least also that our financial systems are also skewed, and the fact now that twice $10 million have been stolen from them here from our government and corporations colluding through the banking system to remove their funds, and they're now moving into cryptocurrency. This is the world that you and I have been teaching about for a number of years now. Talk about this panic to own moment that Cliff High was forecasting way back when, and how we are on the doorstep, on the eve now of this changeover to the brand new world.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I follow a lot of people, George Papadopoulos, other kinds of people on Twitter, including Wendy. I forget her last name. She's the senator out of Arizona. She's got a huge following now. She's a a noisemaker, a rattler, like she says. Make noise, get in their face. Don't be quiet, don't be complacent. And someone had commented about, man, they took the truckers' money. They just shut them down, and then, oh, well, we're going to use give, send, go. And then the government goes, well, we'll just stop that bank. Oh, well, I guess they can't get it after all. And someone mentioned to her, man, boy, if they had Bitcoin, they couldn't really stop that. And she retweeted it and maybe even commented, but nonetheless, she retweeted it. And so she knows. And this is the people's money. When you have a decentralized cryptocurrency, which is why when you get hacked, we got our security video we put together for people. Like, you better pay attention, because if you get hacked, you're not getting it back. It's gone. That's the other side of this. So even with the bank, you can claw back, because from one bank, they go to some other person's account. They know who the person is. It's real tight. But again, we have to give up certain things sometimes. And usually when you're giving up something for freedom, it's always worth giving up. But if you're not giving up for freedom, you're giving it up for security or some BS, it's never worth giving up. So in this case, look, you just got to be more responsible with your account, with your information, that sort of thing, to hopefully not get hacked, But, hacks aside, globally speaking, even if every great once in a while there's, some statistic that says a tiny amount of people get hacked every year. Okay, it happens. But globally, we have a decentralized financial system that the banksters and the government can't just control it and say, oh, well, we'll knock that address out. We'll stop that address from getting any more receiving any more monies, in other words, more crypto, because that's protest we didn't like. They can't do that with a decentralized cryptocurrency. So, we talked about the central banks wanting to create their own, central bank digital currency, and it's for the same reason. They in their minds, they must contain control. Like I mentioned about the Rothschild quote, "Give me control of a nation's money. I care not who make its laws." Right. Controlling the money is the most powerful thing. And then after that, of course, you just pay off the politicians and everything else is easy. So again, decentralized currency, you could fix a lot of this stuff, and you can't stop, you can't forcefully stop somebody from playing at the playground because you say they're a terrorist, or some person like YouTube. Oh, this person is misinformation. Says who? Who are you? Who said that's misinformation? And yet, sorry.
Well, the fact checkers, Joe. It's the fact checkers.
And the fact checkers are opinions, we've learned too. Oh, wow. So their opinion is more powerful than mine, you know.
Just so you know, speaking of fact checkers, the fact checkers this week fact check the fact that Trudeau is not Castro's son. So therefore, you know for sure that he in fact actually is.
Done. Yeah.
Whatever. Joe, while I have you on the screen, you mentioned Papadopoulos, and he's been very good in the last couple of years of forecasting just before big events kind of turn around and pop into our field. What was he saying? What have you been following here? And let's start that conversation here to try to move the needle forward here in the next couple of days to see how things are going to transpire.
Well,
and I'll bring up just for the audience member here too. We'll try not to. We'll watch our words here too because of the censorship. But again, talking about the fact checkers, not long ago, the fact checkers were telling us that what's on screen now was absolutely false. Yet here we are once again. It's absolutely the truth, and you guys can figure out what we're talking about here. So, Joe, back to you.
Yeah, and we'll add to that. There was the 60 Minutes interview. Remember that? Where she kept cutting Trump off, and he said, look, they spied on me, they did this, they did that. You don't have any proof. He goes, there is proof, we have the proof, I'm telling you. Oh, no. And she just kind of shut him up. Oh, well, we can't publish things here. We can't
verify that. We can't verify that. Yeah.
So I actually retweeted that today to 60 Minutes. I'm sure they'll respond, of course, but I retweeted it, said, you guys going to do a secondary interview for Trump and do an apology in there, or how's that going to go? Yeah, right. I'm sure I'll hold my breath and that'll be answered.
Right.
So, again, Papadopoulos. So the other day, and I say the other day, this was weeks ago, there was a nice little, whatever you call it, when they have different people's faces all over the screen. And these were all CNN people. And the first one got an X. We saw what happened. And then he was putting up these things with these X's in them. And shocker. And I remember seeing him do that. And I went and replied. And I said, anyone who sees this, when George does something like this, you better pay attention. And then it was one after the other, after the other, after the other. And the CEO's gone. And now, what's the latest? Anderson Pooper Cooper is gone.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a son. Him and his gay lover have a son or two sons or something. And then I'm going to spend my time. I'm going to. Great news, everybody. He's all happy. I'm going to go spend time with the family. I'm sure Anderson chose right now to just go ahead and go bye-bye.
Right.
CNN is being systematically destroyed, rebuilt, something.
Yeah.
And so that was George letting us know, hey, another one, put another X on that person, who's next? And then, of course, we have news about Don Lemon and his sexual assault allegation thing. It's going to a trial, and, it's actually going to go to a jury trial, I think. And again, it's just one after the other after the other. So when he posts stuff, and he's been posting, about John Durham. And he always put this quote up from NBC that was quoting him as in George Papadopoulos. A person familiar with the matter, George Papadopoulos, says this in his book, says tracks very closely with what his sources said, Durham was doing, but nothing really came of it. And then all of a sudden, a little nugget from Durham comes out a few weeks ago. Ooh, didn't George tell us that? Yep. Now we got another one about the email stuff and Hillary and, Trump, Russia collusion stuff. That's now fact checkers. Where are you guys at? Hey, so the fact checkers are being absolutely destroyed. CNN's mainstream media is being absolutely destroyed. The social media platforms are being destroyed. The so-called leaders are being absolutely destroyed. It is. I go and look at, it pains me sometimes to go look at some of these people, these leaders, so to speak, accounts on Twitter or whatever. But then I love it because I'll go in there and it's just flooded with people saying, hey, they're flipping the script on them now.
Yeah.
Whereas before there'd have been their supporters and we need a strong leader like you, Mr. Biden, and there's like almost hardly any of that. And you got to remember with social media, their algorithms make sure all the liberal leftist views are front and center. You could have 0 likes, 0 anything, 0 replies, and that thing's the first. I log right in there and look at it. There's the first comment I see. Who the hell's that person?
Yeah.
There's this guy down 5 levels down has got 5,000 likes and 1,500 retweets. And his comment makes sense to me, actually, but this one's the one I see first. Interesting.
Yeah.
So even with that, there's so many people commenting. And then you'll find that because that's the first comment, people like me, as a matter of fact, will go into that comment because I realize there's other people who get to see that garbage first that we don't care for. And we'll just do like a copy and paste of something that just completely busts open what they just tried to comment. And then other people do it too. So it's like everyone's going, oh, well, this is how the algorithm works. We'll just go right into that nobody's comment and just post the real information right there. Boop. So then when
Are
someone
you-
else goes in there, they see our comments.
Are
It's
you
great.
trolling? Are you trolling the Democrats, Joe? Is that what you're
Like-
doing?
I'm down to troll anybody needs to be trolled, to tell you the truth. But
Oh my God. Janine, you and I were talking about February 19th. We were picking up on some of the things that Cliff High was saying why this perhaps date was important. And when you pick up the cards yesterday on our live stream last night, you picked up that maybe on the 19th, what you were getting was a changeover in our mainstream media where suddenly perhaps the truth was going to come out. We're starting to see nibbles of that. We've seen the big change in management with Zucker just getting the axe the other day. Now Anderson Cooper, Lemon, all these guys, they're all falling by the wayside. Do you want to take a pulse right now also from the cards and let us know how maybe our world is about to change? Because if in fact the mainstream media, who still has some attention span. I mean, the guys like Joe, myself, you, and Richard, we get a lot more hits than CNN here every month, but still, they do talk to some people. So could you imagine if they started telling the truth and putting out articles like we just saw in Turkey last week, where they were talking about the party substance on the 6 o'clock news and all of these elites who were partaking in that stuff. So what's coming up on the cards here for our mainstream news?
So look at who now owns some of the big stations. I think that's been taken over. So who bought CNN?
a Trump guy.
Yeah. So it's like saying who's now in charge is going to change everything. And even in the next 3. So you're going to see the work of the new boss in 3. That could be weeks, that could be days, hours, weeks, 3, but not months, because that's shorter than months. So at the most weeks. So we're going to start seeing it. And this is what the bad guys are doing. They're freaking out.
Yeah.
Like they're worried because they're going down and it's not looking pretty. But of course, they're not going to go down without a fight, which was already mentioned. Yes.
Right.
It's woo-woo, dude. You're not going down without a fight. Absolutely true. Yeah. So, but they're literally shaking in their boots. It looks like because they got new bosses in particular right now in CNN. But I bet it's happening in more places.
Yeah. I'll get to Julie and perhaps some alignment here that would suggest also this age of Aquarius and how all things information are about to change here very rapidly. But Richard, let's go back to you first. What do you see in terms of the mainstream media changing here? You had forecasted this a while ago as well, that this big changeover was coming. I remember on my first channel before I got deleted, you were talking about that. Can you maybe recap some of that here for the audience, the new audience members who are leaving mainstream and who are coming here to Beyond Mystic? Tell them what you saw and what perhaps now, if you want to adjust also what you're seeing for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, that goes back a while. So if you bad boys would stop getting in trouble, we could just go right back to it. But you and Snippy, I'm telling you, we got to get trophies for you. See who gets knocked off the most. Yeah, that goes back quite a ways. And well, you know, we talk about money can control everything, but really, the ones who control the news control everything in the narrative.
Yep.
But that was part of what I saw that I said, Jesus, that was way back, that they would fall one after the other like dominoes. And it is. I mean, it is. But see, I also want to say this. You know, we all go, well, there goes another one running. Well, they're actually running underground, okay, at the same time. It's their way to get out. And they're guilty, without a doubt. But they think they're going to be saved by going into their underground areas. And that was one thing Spirit did show me, that when they all get into their layers, they're going to get down there and go, oh, shit. The lava's changing, isn't it? Kind of like the lobster who gets home and goes, oh, wow, look at this pool I got. Oh, shit, do you smell that? Yeah, I think I'm cooking. They're not going to be able to get away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I gave a lot of information out to Joe that he's written down, and I said, you know, you just can't come out and say these things. You kind of got to hold it in. And many times Joe, he just wants to come out. The news boy there. The change is going to be fast. Mr. Soros will not be here much longer. I'm just going to say it. What the hell? I saw Spirit stick their hand through his chest and grab his heart. You can go anywhere you want with that. I'm going to throw this one out. What the hell? They already tried to kill me, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you're famous for that one, JC. Thanks. No shit.
I love how we manifested some energy sparkles in your room there that night while we were doing this live meditation. That was absolutely awesome.
My friend, to everybody out there that sent that was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all we would do to seen a lot of things. But when those things were coming to my window, and I didn't know anything about what you guys did, and Joe called me a couple nights after that or whatever, that was crazy. I said, Joe, I saw something that I've never seen before. Like I said, I've really seen a lot of things. And the only way I could describe them were like lightning bugs or sparks. And groups would come, and they'd come to my window. And then another group would be waiting. They would leave, and then they would come to my window. And when I came home from the hospital, I sat in my chair, and Spirit, first thing, go to JC's channel. I go, oh, all right. And I saw that. I went, oh, my God, they manifested that.
Mm-hmm.
That was incredible. And let's face it, we all watched another miracle. It was no joke where I was. All right. My blood oxygen was 80 to 83. And I was going in and out.
Yeah.
All right. And I came out of that.
Yeah.
So there was a big hand there that was involved in that.
The power of meditation and group meditation, especially here at the Beyond Mystic audience, you guys have such a high vibe. When we do come together, we are a dangerous force to reckon with, for sure. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. Julie, can you go back to the slide? Let me bring up February 19th, I think it was, on the deck here, and explain how that might pretend also to the mainstream media changing over or having these consequences here that we were talking about, and Cliff High was also forecasting.
Yeah, so February 19, we're going to have Mercury in the sky oppose Canada's Mercury, natal Mercury. So Mercury, the planet Mercury, stands for vehicles, so trucks, but also it's the planet of communications. So when we have an opposition, it's two powers that oppose each other, and they have different wants. So there's compromises, there's like a power play. So for me, February 19 is probably, we're going to see mandates drops, even more provinces maybe go in with the one already that dropped those mandates. So I think we're going to see the beginning of the consequences of the trucker convoy. And I think the media will have no choice but to report even more of the true information. So it's the beginning of the big reversal of power that we have also on the full moon. That's going to be Wednesday next week on the 16th. So this is a big full moon because it activates the lunar nodes. So it's going to be a grand cross. Yeah, thanks. And so the nodes shifted in the financial axis on January 18. And it's the first big event that we have in the sky on this full moon on the 16th that's going to activate those nodes. So for me, it's going to be there's going to be like huge pressure on the financial system from the people, because the moon is going to be in the sign of Leo, so in the sign of power, of rulership, and opposing the sun, and it's going to be in the sign of Aquarius, so the sign of people. So people are going to exert like a really, really big pressure on the financial system. And we're going to see also things coming out in the open, because full moon always reveals stuff. And this one is going to be a very intense full moon. So, and also a few days later, we have the 19th. So 19, I think there's going to be big revelations in Canada, but also it's going to be worldwide, because it's so close to the 20th, which is US Pluto Return. So it's going to be a big, big week. And I forgot to say when I was talking earlier about US Pluto Return, that's exact on the 20th, but it's going to be, there's like a big orb of influence on the timelines. So it's going to be more than just one day for sure. It's going to be the whole year. So while we're having the Pluto returns, so big reversal of power, of financial energy, we have also the Neptune opposition at the same time. So Neptune in the sky is going to oppose the US natal Neptune, and Neptune talks about the media. So for me, it's a big lifting of the veil energy with Neptune, opposed Neptune. So there was a lot of illusions with all that happened starting in 2020 for everybody. So lots of normies are gonna wake up for me around that date, and I think also the media will have no choice but to change their narrative. And I wrote, I think, on the slide that was talking about this Neptune opposition, I wrote. What was it exactly? Lifting of the veil, but also, change in the movie narrative, because Neptune has to do with movies, also illusions, media. So there's going to be lots of changes around that date, and I think that the illusion is gonna disappear.
Talking about illusions, also, you had mentioned in one of the slides, and I don't remember which one, and I'm going to ask Janine to pull some cards on that in a second here, and also for Richard and Joe to chime in on this. But Julie, you had mentioned something about secrets being revealed as it pertains to sexuality and the money connection to sexuality.
Yeah.
We've heard last month that the lawyers for Ghislaine Maxwell sent a letter to the court stating that they would no longer oppose the lead prosecutor's injunction or motions to obtain the names in the little black book to whom these children or these small people were being trafficked to. Do you recall that? And what can you share here with the audience, Julie?
Well, next week for sure, with the full moon, with the 19th, the 20th, the Pluto return, it's going to be big. There's a big Pluto energy, and Pluto always talks about sexual secrets, things that were hidden before, financial secrets, and it all ties in together, of course. And I forgot to say also on the 19th, there's the Mercury opposition for Canada, but also at the same time, there's something very special that's happening for Canadian Mr. T on the 19th. Mercury is going to conjunct his natal Venus and North nodes. So I think there's going to be some truths revealed about where his money came from, the deals that he dealt with the health crisis, also with networks, little people networks. So I think the 19 is going to be big for him too.
Wow. Okay, fascinating. Janine, let me bring you back on the screen here about these secrets revealed about sexuality. You and I've done a couple of shows on pay-per-view, some of them too hot for YouTube, of course. So guys, you can go check that out. But what do you feel, or what can the cards tell us here about maybe some more of that information about the networking, how pervasive it is, how in fact it goes down to the street level across the planet here, and how perhaps that information is soon to be known in public knowledge for not just us here watching and participating, but also for our friends and neighbors who are not awake yet to this.
It looks like it's big around what's been going on that's been kept a secret. So underground, that could even be underground. So it's not just about things kept secret with that sword underneath, but it could literally be about underground. So we know that a lot of things happen underground. Do you know what I mean? As far as the little people go, right? So a strategy to out something really big at that time. So it's already in the works somehow. So it's already been in the works. And I got a feeling there's some energies behind it. It's almost like I might be talking about the alliance or something. I feel like it's already in the works and they're aligning it on those dates Julie's talking about. That there's going to be a big outing. Yeah, because we got the world around a little people card and sensual pleasure kind of card. So things being done, I get it more slanting toward less about the money, but I'm sure that'll be too, but more damaging is going to be about what some elites and peoples we're talking about here have been doing underground or hidden to do with little ones.
Right.
Yeah.
And also,
Okay.
if I can add, during the full moon on the 16th, the sun is going to be in Aquarius, and Aquarius is the sign of networks, so all sorts of networks. And the moon is going to oppose the sun. The moon is going to be in the sign of Leos, so it's the sign of power, and it's going to activate the financial axis. So networks reveal, deals with the elites, and as I said earlier, full moon always shine a light on some truths, some stuff that was hidden before. So big week.
Okay. Wow, very good. Richard, let's go back to you. You've been mentioning quite a few of these items that would be in the category of secrets reveals with some of our elite characters. And I know for a long time you were always asking Joe again, Joe, don't mention this yet. We're trying not to skew here our timelines. And I remember an email where Cliff told me something. He says, please promise Joe, please ask Joe to promise not to say this. So I know Joe is so excited to share with us, but we keep telling him, wait, maybe now is not the time. Is this the time now? Is there anything else you can share with the audience now, seeing as we're so close to some of these temporal markers, as Cliff calls them, of the things that you were seeing way back when that would be revealed here to humanity, both in terms of the little people, just call them that for now, and also perhaps where the money trail is leading to?
Well, there's some things I can say, but there's still some things I can't say. Mm-hmm. Yes, Joseph, I still can't bring out Hunter. I'm sorry. He's foaming at the mouth for that one.
I tried, Joe. I tried, man.
I know, you sneaky guy, you. Okay. So I want to do this correctly so I don't bring out names. I didn't really care about Soros. But there is a woman, political, that's in the United States, and she has initials NP. Can you figure it out? Okay. Well, Spirit told me if she was given a warning as of January the 1st that she had to announce her step down. If she didn't, then everything will come out. And Spirit said it will start with your family. And one will fall after the other. And everything that she has stolen will be returned back. And then I saw her grabbing her heart and falling over. Not dead, but like, oh, shit, you know. Everything that I've done is now out. This is one who clings for power, but yet all the other seats that are around her talk about her behind her back that they want to get rid of her. Do you all know who I'm talking about? So she's going to fall, but you're going to see her family fall before her, and it'll come out. But she will be going down. And remember, you know, this 2-2-2 parable is huge. It's huge. Mm-hmm. Okay. And it all started with the XRP, supernatural things occurring that mm-hmm. we all got to see, okay, on live streams. And right down to me ending up in a church, going into a full channel, okay, to a minister and his wife, saying that I'm here for the 2-2-2 parable. And there it was. Okay, I'm not going to get into all the other stuff. You've heard it all enough. And it was behind the pulpit. Mm-hmm. All right. We all need to put a lot of discernment in what was on that. I took a photo and you have it. And it's all happening. This is real. But, you know, in the Bible, we see a lot of things with Christ coming in and tipping over the scales of the bankers. All right. Nothing new under the sun. All right. This is happening. And the control is all going to change. This is an incredible time. And everybody out there, they all talk about, we're going in the darkness. No, we're coming out of it. And remember the other time where I got mad at Spirit? I said, cut down the tree of evil. I was pissed. You know how I get sometimes. And they said, the roots go deep into your planet, okay, for thousands of years. We have to expose the roots to kill a tree. And they said, if you pick a plant up and cut it off, it'll grow back next spring. But if you dig the roots out, it'll never come back. That's what this is all about. And we're watching it. And this is why we got to be patient. Okay. Every time you see something happen on the news, this guy gets pulled out, this guy gets cut. Well, what do you think's happening? Showing another route. And that's why don't be pissed off about Donald Trump not getting it. He wasn't supposed to. He's going to do 2 terms. All right. I gave it to you. All right. All right. He didn't leave. He's not leaving. But all these people have got to be exposed. If he had stayed in, they would never have been exposed. Okay. Now they are, and everybody's going to see them. You know, you kind of wonder, did they create the masks actually so they could cover their asshole faces? So maybe they won't recognize me. Yeah. Have a nice day. Isn't that Hillary? Look at her eyes. Oh, that's her.
Maybe, maybe not.
Oh, there she is.
We've been tracking a lot of weird body doubles all year, for sure. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. Janine, you were nodding your head there about this whole movie we're watching. And again, there's new people in the chat. They're like, I don't know what 222 means. I'm sorry, folks. We can't repeat everything. These are long-term shows and memes that we've been talking about here. But Janine, maybe recap it here in a short segment. What you think is really happening here? It alludes to what Richard was just saying about now, the truth of what's going on behind the scenes, and why this show is being put forward here to really expose all of these players for who they really were.
Yeah, that's what I've been getting for 2 years. that Mr. T, U.S. Mr. T, is still in power in the background. He's the shadow government. The Queen capitulated, the royal family capitulated. She's long gone. Like Philip left before he was announced to have left. Like they're playing out a big play here. And it's because they do need to expose a lot of things. And it had to be done this way. And that's why I was shaking my head. I've never actually heard woo-woo-woo. And I'm so impressed. Like everything he says, I completely agree. I concur. What he said.
Very good what he said. Joe, let me bring you on also. There was this lady on the screen here today, Joe, and I was like really impressed during the show, and I hope the audience could hear what she said, but she was talking about being a child and seeing what communism actually looks like. And she was pleading with the cops and our military here to side with the people. And just as we were arriving, she had mentioned, and you guys can hear this on camera yet, she's on the screen over there, but she had mentioned that when she was 10 years old, her country revolted, and it ended in the capture and, how do you call that? Dealing with the powers that be, where Ceausescu was eventually shot in front of a firing squad. And so she remembers that clearly as a child. And not only she was talking to the police here and our military, but she was talking to all of us to remember here the signs that lead us towards that path of communism, fascism, and ultimate totalitarianism that we're seeing now here in Canada. Never, myself as a Canadian, Janine and Julie also, had we ever expected to see what we're seeing now with our mainstream news and the overreach from our federal government. And anyway, she had an amazing plea to that effect. So I'm not sure if you caught that in, Joe, but let's talk, generally speaking, also about some of your dreams as of late. There was one in particular last night that you mentioned here just before the show you wanted to bring up, how perhaps that ties in also to everything that's happening now.
Yeah, so I get these dreams, and like I said, I had a couple about a grid down, power out, but I want to remind people of a certain letter of the alphabet that did say something along the lines about blackouts necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to throw that out there. But, it's funny. I'm talking, my video got, banned about HIV and some other stuff I was talking about.
Yeah.
And that night, before I even knew it was even in the dumpster, in the banned or whatever, terminated the video, I had a dream. And I was with Magic Johnson. So Magic Johnson, everyone should know, came down with AIDS a long time ago, and then like miraculously somehow it went away, or he's not real sure, but it's like he doesn't have any issues anymore. It's kind of whatever. So pretty interesting figure in public's, the public eye. And well, what happened? It's strange, but I'm there with him, and we're having a conversation about pretty much what I was talking about in my video. And he was down with it, knew everything. Yep. You're right. And we're just having this great conversation. And yes, it had to do with HIV and certain shots and things. And so all of a sudden, these groups, like this group of like thugs, come in, and they're like, I'm standing right next to him talking to him, and all of a sudden, they're no one's paying attention to me. They've got guns and stuff pointing at him, and he's just kind of backing up, like, oh, sorry, whatever. And I'm like, where's the exit? I'm getting the hell out of here. I don't want no part of this. So I ran off and, went and actually hid into some restaurant down the street, waiting to see if these people are going to come back, try to get me next. But I'm like, no, they wanted him, strictly him. So it might have been the conversation we were having, and the thugs came in to shut him up. And I go, now that's freaking interesting. And that might be one of these things that causes the populace to really freak out and, go after certain people and power structures if that subject matter comes to light about certain shots and things.
Right.
So I got that. Now, while I'm here, I want to share my screen real quick. I just want to show a couple of tweets from like Papadopoulos and stuff.
Sure.
And I'll do this one.
Okay, let me bring that up on the screen for the audience here. Hopefully that works. Yeah, there we go.
So this is recent, 7 hours ago. And again, it's not the first time he posted this. Do you see? I want people to understand something. Pay attention to who George Papadopoulos has on the screen. Forget if they have an X over them yet. Who's this lady? Who's this guy? Okay. Who are some of all these people? These were very, very high. And then this person, I'd love to know who this is, because this is a shadowy person. Like, he's really keeping that one secret.
Yeah.
But we have all of these people, and he's got some X marks all of a sudden, in recent times. There's Bill Clinton. What's her name? Loretta Lynch or whatever.
Yeah.
Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton. Who are these people doing on the screen? Okay. What's his name? Brennan.
James Comey is there too.
Yeah. All these guys are here. So that's interesting. So he's saying 9 hours ago, things just got very bad for Hillary Clinton. He's referring to the New Durham information.
Yeah.
This is treason, he's saying. Just wait until this week ahead. Now, what he's referring to was this post from essentially, not Matt Gaetz, what's his name? Jim Jordan. This is bigger than Watergate, he says.
Joe, zoom in your thing so people can see it a little bit more. Can you zoom in your screen?
Not really.
Not really? Okay.
Control plus.
Oh, yeah, we could do that.
There you go. Thank you,
Just
sir.
wait until this week ahead, he says. Papadopoulos. Again, this is posted today. And he's talking about this being bigger than Watergate. And, of course, this is the whole spying thing with Trump. So that's interesting, for Papadopoulos to be writing this stuff. The other thing I talked about earlier, about what we all talked about, CNN, who's owns CNN? Where are these guys going? Who's in charge? Who's following these people anymore? Remember, I've got BuzzFeed and I've got Vice. Vice, we know, is this big leftist TV platform, and it's just pure. And when Trump was in power, they had these stupid, Amuro, whatever his name was, the guy, they had these little fireside chats where they just would not stop talking about Trump in the worst ways, and people just didn't like it. No wonder why it's no longer on. But these people had the power of social media and the algorithms pumping them. Unlike me, who has to fight to get seen, and my replies get hidden and no one sees them. I go to Vice, and they have 2 million followers. And I've actually trolled them recently. That's why I know this. Might as well. Look at 1 hour ago. One reply? Let me zoom back in again. And they're talking about something interesting. It's 85 miles in diameter and heading towards the sun. This scientists have seen the largest comet ever. Okay. There's one comment on this 2 hours ago. 3 retweets.
What's going
6
on?
replies, 11 retweets. This is a 2 million followed channel. Are you telling me 6 people of 2 million have decided to reply? Let's go over to BuzzFeed. We know what they did this whole time. BuzzFeed, 6.3 million followers. 9 minutes ago, doesn't even have a freaking reply yet or a single retweet. Again, with millions and millions of people, there are people who's, they're on their phones and computers all day long. They've been right on it. And again, it's just garbage stuff, whatever. 2 retweets, 2 replies. 54 minutes ago, no replies, 1 retweet. So, this is what happens when people realize I've been lied to, I let it slide because that's my team. I've been lied to again. It's kind of pissing me off. That's my team. I'll do it again. I'll just pretend I didn't see it. Oh boy, that was a big one. The Russian collusion, for example. That was a big one. I really bought that one. Rachel Mad Cow. Oh, she really pushed that one. I believed every word she said.
Oh, by the way, it was the Russians who were involved in the convoy here in Ottawa, too.
Speaking of Rachel Mad Cow, where's she going all of a sudden lately? She's gone.
Yeah.
She's leaving. Oh, no kidding. Again, plunk, 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 plunk. They're picking them off. And like you guys mentioned earlier, if Trump was in power, he's the president, he won, if they couldn't be doing this, they couldn't show you these people that one's going to take it because it would be, oh my God, it's a political hit job. This is communism. They're taking their opponents out. Oh my God. But Trump's out of the scene. He has no power. So leftists see this guy who has no power, not even considering him. That guy's gone. That guy's gone. CNN going down. The CEO's been replaced. Don Lemon's in trouble. Anderson Cooper's gone. Rachel Mad Cow's in trouble. And these leftists, they're dying. Where's Trump? He's no longer in power. What's wrong, guys? What's wrong? You okay? No one's freaking out. So this work can get done with someone that they don't want to charge, supposedly not being in charge. And then again, I'm out here and I barely post videos these days. Like once or twice a week, I feel like I'm posting instead of like 3 times a day like I used to. And I keep saying it. If this just happened, please tell me how the Democrats and Biden and this Congress, these people are really in charge. And they have the House, they got the Senate because they got the swing vote with the vice president, all this crap. They can do anything they want. They've got the whole 3 main branches of government covered for the most part, right? Maybe not the Supreme Court, but so what? Nothing's had to go there. So how the hell are some of these things happening? People getting in big trouble, Democrats getting in trouble, that guy being charged, former Obama, so-and-so, I forget his name. I posted that the other day. He got charged. Not just he got in trouble, but then they let him go. He got charged. Who is really in charge if this is happening? Why do they keep showing Joe Biden at a studio fake set? And they've admitted it. They say, well, yeah, we know it's a fake set. They said it. We know it's a fake set. It's because there's like a lighting thing, and sometimes the teleprompter things have to be they have this stupid story. Why he's got to be over there because the teleprompter thing works better than the actual real White House. Okay. And Kamala Harris, she can't move into the vice president's suite because they're remodeling it. And they've been remodeling it now for a good year plus. And it started before she even got into power. So where's she at? How come she's not able to move into the typical VP spot building, that is? And then the fence. Let's put up some new fences. You know what I mean? Let's put up some new fences. And it's not just, I think I tweeted you JC, and some other people. I go, wait a minute, they're saying this is in this a country, they're putting up a fence in that country, they're putting up a fence around that country, like in their parliamentary buildings. This is very, very strange, don't you think? Unless...
Including ours, by the way.
Yeah, including yours. Unless the old guard is going to be no more, and those old ways can go away. Those old buildings and old things that they go away. We'll start something new somewhere else. We'll pick a new spot to call our capital.
Yeah.
Because I remember Penny Kelly saying a while back, and she was referring to Trump at the time, like, oh, you don't think I can move, Washington, D.C., the White House? Watch me. Mm-hmm. And it's going to another state. Mm-hmm. So I thought, and again, the Gal Guy remote viewing stuff about the halls of Congress, people hunched over crying, loss of power, adjourning for the last time, this huge remote viewing session he saw regarding the death of the dollar. And here we have, you know, these dates these girls are talking about 19th to 20th to 22nd, which is interesting. And by the way, I did, right before we started, I was able to get Cliff on the phone, Cliff High, because he mentioned to us in an email today about, you know, oh yeah, Joe's 222 cryptogasm stuff. We're on or about the 19th. So I'm like, well, cryptogasm we blast off, or cryptogasm we, you know, we go down. Maybe there's, you know, either way. And so I asked him, he goes, yeah, he goes, no way to tell in the data. He goes, just something, it's just big, something with crypto. I don't know. It could cause it to spike, it could cause it to dump. I don't really know, but
Joe,
coming.
Joe, hold on a second here. I was going to lead into that because just before the show, and you didn't tell me this yet, Julie was also saying that there's an alignment. Was it Julie the 17th or the 16th that could spell opportunity, quote unquote, for crypto? Set that up a little bit, and then we'll ask Joe to finish that phrase.
There's Jupiter that does a sextile to the planet Uranus. Uranus is related to crypto, and especially in the sign of Taurus, which is the sign of money. So Jupiter does like a benefic aspect. Jupiter is the planet of like good fortune, financial abundance. So first I thought it was going to be something really great happening with crypto. But then today I was like, oh, maybe it's more like a market crash in the crypto, because when this kind of aspect is a sextile, and sextiles are opportunities, and Jupiter is a planet of investment. So it's like a investment opportunity. So I thought today maybe it's going to be really low, the crypto market, and it's going to be a really good opportunity to invest at that moment, because it's going to be maybe before the sudden rise of value in crypto. So I don't know if we can check that with Janine.
And hold on, Julie, just as you started there, you were on mute. What date was that you were looking
on
at?
The 17th.
The 17th. Okay,
yeah.
Joe, let's go back to Cliff's email here. How does that tie in, and what's your gut feeling you? And I'm also going to ask Richard and Janine also to chime in here on what perhaps that opportunity might spell for.
Yeah, so and you saw his email. Movement from 219 will give Joe his 222 cryptogasm. In Ides of March, we'll have JC very busy indeed. You know, be careful about the Ides of March. You know, just things are probably going to get heated up there in Canada. That was kind of all he said, you know, for us. So again, I was like, well, let me just see if I can get a hold of him. And he answered the phone. So he said, yeah, he goes, the data doesn't tell me whether it was a spike up or spike down. Now, I will tell you, one time he did email me. This would have been around the 2.2 thing with XRP, actually, back in, I guess that was late 2020. And he had said something kind of similar, but strictly with theta. And he copied, I think, me and Bix on it. And I'm going, well, maybe it's going to blast off or a crash, because, you know, we're this whole 2.2 thing. And I thought, well, XRP was 2.2, you know, 22 cents when it was 70. So maybe we're going down in theta. So what happened was theta skyrocketed. That's when it went on its big run up to like $16 from like, you know, $2 or something, or $1 something. I think it was actually $4 at the time, but nonetheless, it went up to $16. So I thought, oh, well, I was kind of thinking it might crash, but no, it went way, 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 way up. So this is one of those things, again, I don't really know. And here's the other thing. We already had a recent crash, and crypto is still down. It hasn't gone lower, but it's just kind of going sideways right now. And so I would say it's still a great opportunity right now at current prices, even to get in. If nobody was in right now, I'd be like, yeah, it's a great time to get in. So theoretically, like, well, we could get in now, and then the 17th, 18th, 19th, something crazy could happen, and then they just blast off. It would still make sense to what she said, because it's an opportunity. And right now, still an opportune time. And if we stay where we are, or maybe we go down a little bit, who knows, over the next several days, and then something comes out that causes the markets to go boom and explode. Well, we had all these days, you know, a week or whatever it is ultimately. And like Cliff had said, it'd be movement from 219. So beginning around 219 and then forward. And there's no date out that he goes, oh, you know, this is far out. He didn't say. So, but again, yeah, we could crash down again, because I got dreams of very low Ethereum price of $408. And if I didn't have so many dreams with prices that have finally hit, I would just say, you know, that's just absurd. It's $3,000 right now. That's just no way. But I got that dream, and then they showed me XRP, which was way lower than it is right now. And I go, well, that's 2. And I asked for theta in the dream, and my friend couldn't pull it up because he was having trouble spelling it. So I never got the download in the dream. Like I wasn't allowed to see theta. But that was 2 coins. And I'm going, well, and then again, what if we have a power issue all of a sudden because breaking news is about to hit this, let's just say this week coming up, and they got to put a cap on it all. So the power goes down. And again, is it good guys, bad guys mixed? Blackouts have to happen. But if that happens, what happens to the crypto exchanges? What happens to people wanting to get on the crypto exchanges who are panicking or whatever? Is it going to cause it to crash? And if it did, and then the power comes back on, then okay, everything goes back up again. You know, I mean, there's a few ways you could look at this. So, and I don't know, and I haven't gotten any new information recently. But I know Woo Dude has said, you know, they keep showing him $200,000 Bitcoin. Maybe you can ask. Let's
get Richard on next, and then Janine with tarot. I think she's already pulled some cards. This was the comment from Cliff. I just put it up on the screen. Movement from 219 will give Joe the 222 cryptogasm and orgasm, and the Arch of March will keep you busy here.
Cryptogasm.
A cryptogasm, yes. The big O, Joe. And speaking of March, I'm going to be celebrating my big 5-0 very soon. So anyway, stay tuned for that, folks. Lessons of Love, Lorraine. She says, okay, JC, please show me the link for the crypto crash course. Okay, let me bring that up on the screen for you guys here while I ask Richard to tell us about what he thinks for February 17th. Is that just an entry point going in? Or is that maybe a crash, a point? What do you see? Is it the floor? What do you think, Richard, for the 17? Oh, Richard, hold on a second. You're muted. Hold on. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Richard.
Okay. The crypto market is still tied to the stock market. When you see the stock market starting to crash, are we going to get some crashing? Yeah, I believe so. And I went through this yesterday with Snippy. I says, you know, it might be an opportunity for some people, but I think whatever it is, it'll happen so fast that many people will get caught with their pants down trying to make the trade, unless you're really good at what you're doing, you know, like Joe is. Myself, I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm not doing a damn thing because bottom line, I saw a timeline and I saw Bitcoin at 200 G's. And if that reaches that, what do you think all the others are going to do? Listen, I'm so low on my stuff. I mean, I got XRP at 2222. Really? Am I going to do much better than that? I'm just going to hang out here. I don't have to be greedy. And again, remember, this whole thing that I said about the Russia and all this, the EU and everything, this is all connected to the financial system. This is going to be a change. And like I say to people that say, oh, it's going to go to zero and done it. Well, if it does that, we have a whole lot more to worry about, don't we, than what the hell our cryptos are. So I'm just throwing that away. But when I see Tom Brady on commercials selling cryptos, dude, come on. You know, it's like,
and you're getting the central bank of Russia now also suggesting to sell Bitcoin to their populace, folks. So if you're looking for that, it's beyondmystic.net/pay-per-view. There you're going to see both our courses, the introduction crypto crash course, and what Woo Dude is saying. He's sitting down and doing nothing because he's already done the work. So for those of you who are not invested or invested out of the old system, now's the time before that panic to own, as Cliff was saying. Janine, let me bring you on the screen also for the cards here. What do you see for the 17th moving forward here in crypto land? Wow. Oh, hold on. You're on mute. Hold on a second here. We were getting bad echoes earlier. Go ahead, Janine.
I think it's going to crash. That was upside down.
Yeah.
And so but it'll be short-lived because this was upside down. So I wouldn't say it's going to stay crashed or go to zero or any of that kind of stuff. It'll crash, but it'll have something interesting. It looks like the whole thing has something to do with information coming out about possibly Trump stepping back in his rightful place or some kind of truth about Mr. T in US.
Wow. It's all connected.
He's behind it, the crash, like something going on with, I think, the alliance and Mr. T is somehow related to the crash. So just the times we're living in, that kind of makes sense to me. But it doesn't look like so it'll be bad for a while, and then a whole bunch of things will move up. The ones that are going to stick around will start recovering really quick.
Right. Well, like Richard was saying here, if you're trying to time it, you better get your act together. It might be very quick, but in the long run, we all know where this is going. Richard, let me get you back on the screen. Also, for the audience members who are new here again, who are just getting into the woo here, you've been on my show quite a few times talking about silver. And if I don't talk about silver tonight in the context of our conversation, I'm going to get hammered in emails tomorrow. So explain to the audience here some of your visions about these tubes of silver and where they were at in the price point, one, and also lead into what Janine was saying here now, how all of this was going to happen together, not just the financial, but the political, the religion, the little people coming out, everything at the same time. So explain that to the audience who have not heard you before on that note.
Yeah, again, it's all wrapped with changing the guard. And, you know, you silver bugs, hey, I am too. You don't have to do a damn thing. Just hold on to your bags, okay? And when they start getting really big, if you need a few bucks, sell a little. But I saw three we'll do that one more time, price points. One of them, now understand, these are plateaus that they showed me. And to make you silver bugs feel good, I've been holding mine for 8 years, okay? And I paid more for mine than what you can get it now, all right? Am I concerned about it? No. They showed it to me in tubes. 20 coins to a tube. First plateau was $10,000 for a tube. Well, that's $500 a piece. It didn't stop there. Okay. Time went by. I saw 30 grand. I went, holy shit. You know, I'm smiling about that one. And they said, oh no, we got one more. And they showed me 50 grand. I went, are you kidding me? Ah, there I am. That was my favorite shirt until they cut it off, that damn heart attack I had. Those rat bastards. Holy shit. I got to stop dying. This is ridiculous. Like, just give me a pill. Give me a day, okay? Let's make a deal here. Oh, we got to get the COVID first. Oh, thanks.
It's funny. Joe and I are winning the awards for how many times we're deleted off of YouTube, and you and Cliff High are getting the awards for how many times you died. Come back on this.
No shit. Hey, Cliff, it's your turn. All right, man?
Yeah, enough of that. I don't want to do anymore. Janine, also share with Woo Woo Dude here your thoughts on where silver is going. Perhaps take a different look again. You and I've been looking at this every month, and it always comes up to the same outcome. But just in case Universe has something else to tell the audience here with silver, what can the cards tell us? And while you bring that up, guys, let me bring up the weekly specials here afforded to our Beyond Mystic audience from Miles Franklin. You can find them here at beyondmystic.net/silver. These are the special afforded to the Beyond Mystic audience. And if you're on the Canadian side of the border also, you can now get your physical silver from MF Bullion. This is our Canadian affiliate. And there you're looking at the Krugerrands at $569 over spot. Back to you, Janine.
So we're waiting, and sometimes it's painful, but it's worth the wait. This guy becomes enlightened through waiting, and he's chosen to wait, because this is what happens if you wait, and it won't be long. It really won't. This card is a breakthrough card. So in the past, you know, this has been talked about for some time. So it feels like it hasn't been happening fast enough, but this is the future. These are brilliant cards. So we're going to celebrate. She manifests great wealth by being patient and persevering, just like Woo Woo Dude said. Am I saying his name right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
It's Woo Woo Dude.
Okay. I'll let you guys do that. And we've got the patience and perseverance card. Universal timing is in effect. I love this card. It says there's nothing you can do about it. There's a bunch of stuff going on in the universe that's creating the timing right now. So everybody, well, always actually. So it's like the universe knows what it's doing. So you have to just trust it. But it's absolutely coming.
Can I say something about one of your cards?
Go ahead.
You know the card where you showed the man upside down?
Yep.
Show it again. No, a spirit said, if you look carefully, that stands for the T-man. When the T-man comes up, everything reverses.
Yeah.
That's really well said.
I agree. Yeah.
And talking about those reversals too, I had the Silver Guru and the Master Wu himself, Cliff High, in an interview a couple of months ago. I think it was called Wu Silver, one of those. I did it on BitChute at any rate. And they were talking about this setup for the $600 silver, how we were in fact here now, even though the price points does not reflect that on the COMEX or the LBMA. Joe, very quickly here, explain to the audience again, who might be new to all of this Wu here, how this $600 silver was tying in to a bunch of other temporal markers. All of them almost have already manifested as it stands now. So explain the concept of the predictive linguistics here to the audience members and how this ties in to this big change that is coming up on our financial system.
Yeah, Cliff High's webbot, this data that was just started coming in one day, basically, about essentially $600 silver. It was like pretty much the same thing, $600 silver, $600 silver. And there would just be days where, you know, and I'm talking back when silver was, you know, 12, 13, 15, whatever dollars. His data is like $600 silver's coming. And it looked like what would happen first, or temporal marker, would be like $1 per day move on the market, and then a $2, then a $5, then like a 10 and a 20. And I'm thinking a $20 move in one day's time on silver, man. I'm telling myself, well, that can't be $20 silver, really. I mean, was it going to go from 20 to, can't go to zero, first of all, if it was going down. So you can jump from 20 to 40 in one day. I go, that doesn't sound likely either. But if it was like $100, could it move 20? Sure, that's 20%. I think that could happen. So I'm thinking, when I see a $20 move day for silver, it's probably going to be over $100, which then says, okay, well, how far off is $600 at that point? You know? So we tried to figure out, well, why? Why is this data coming in? Why is there $600 silver? Why the hell would they be there? And he's saying, well, there's a lot of bad data about, like, you know, the economy's not going to look real good. The stepping outside your house, so to speak, isn't going to look real good. You might be real happy about $600 silver, but the shit going on around you, you know, that might be you paying attention to every day, is not going to be like a real nice place to be. He goes, but it just looks like this stuff's going to be coming. And it's tied into the death of the dollar too. So the US dollar is going to have trouble. And again, I remember what Trump had said. You know, if Biden gets in there, you know, the stock market's going to crash and da-da-da. And you go back and listen to any single thing Trump has ever said. And he said a lot of stuff. And I don't mean just him saying something, but him saying like, this is going to happen kind of a thing. He has always been right. At some point, you give him enough time. Oh my God, he was right. Oh my God, he was right. Oh my God, he was right. We haven't had a big stock market crash yet, have we? Mm-hmm. So we have a massive amount of debt that we've created, and under him we created it, under Obama we created it prior, because that's the system. It's the Federal Reserve System. It doesn't matter who the president is. It's just going to keep going up and up and up, and it's not sustainable. We know this is 30 trillion, 31 trillion right now. Yeah. So how do you get rid of this big problem? Well, we owe a lot of people money, right? Because we're paying interest on this debt. So who's the owners of all of our debt? Is it China? Is it Russia? Is it all these other countries? The Middle East? God only knows. And we pay them interest every year. So at some point, the interest, because we owe so much money, you know, 10 trillion, 20 trillion, 30 trillion, we have to pay interest on that. Mm-hmm. So we just keep borrowing more money and then paying the interest more, borrow more money, pay interest. There's a point of no return. So that whole system has to implode. And along with it, the dollar, being the world reserve currency, is going to be with it. Yeah. So I'm thinking, anyways, it's just my opinion, that we're going to have a major financial crisis, and it's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, dominoes dropping, so to speak, of things. And then you might have cryptos absolutely explode. You may have your $600 silver all of a sudden, like just rapidly out of nowhere. And I've always had the opinion that if Trump was in charge and all this stuff, which has to happen, were to happen, he wouldn't look that good. Even though it's not his fault, he's not going to look good. Yeah. So he's not in power right now. Somebody else is in power right now. That's a complete moron. Perfect setup to have the whole thing fall into that guy's, you know, watch. And then he goes away somehow. And then, oh, well, he can't do anything. He went away, got sick and died, or, you know, something happened to him. Who knows? And, oh, by the way, we've dealt with the election stuff. Guess what's going to happen? You know, so-and-so's coming back. Right. And since he's left with this mess, you know, we got to, you know, give the guy a break. And, of course, we would. So that's how I think this is going to go.
It's funny you say that, because on Zero Hedge today, 38 lawmakers are demanding that Joe Biden undergo cognitive tests here. So just, the hits keep on rolling, folks. Let me bring Julie on as well for the silver. Before I bring, I let you get in there, Julie, hold on. I had another slide up for the audience here, because everybody's going to email me after show. JC, where are those damn Webbot reports? They're right here, guys. Look at the screen. BeyondMystic.net/Cliff High. It's very easy. And I've already put the link down in the live chat here for you guys. I'll do that again, so you can download the originals from Cliff. Cliff was nice enough to give this to us here for our WebBot temporal marker episode with Jason at 4. So those are the original WebBot data reports, and you'll see all of these temporal markers, how they are in fact lining up to what we're seeing now. Julie, back to you on silver. What do the astrological events tell us about silver?
So for silver, on my end, I have a big date on April 30th. I know it's far from now, but we'll see as time goes by. But with the astrology, I feel like April, ongoing, May, June, and June until the rest of the year, I think is going to be very, very good for silver. So maybe we're going to hit the first plateau that Woo Woo Dude was talking about, maybe on that April 30th date. I hope it's before then, but let's just say that with the astrology, April 30th is a new moon solar eclipse in Taurus. So both sun and moon are going to be in the sign of Taurus, and the moon is said to be exalted in the sign of Taurus, and the moon represents silver. So we can say for sure on that date, silver is going to gain value. And then moving on, May and even further in June, Venus and the North Node are both going to be in the sign of Taurus. Taurus equals silver in astrology. So North Node talks about everything that's going to gain value. And North Node is going to stay in the sign of Taurus, so silver, until the rest of the year, and moving on until 2023 even more. So I think first plateau might be end of April, then maybe May or June, second plateau, and then rest of the year it's gonna go up and up. So that's what I see with the astrology.
That's fascinating. I just had a conversation with Big Sweer a couple of days ago, and he was talking about these plateaus being hit here. He was talking about the 50-day moving average being busted, and then the 200-day moving average being busted, and then we would get to the point where it's unobtainium because the markets are broken and we don't even know the price of silver. And just to go back also to what Woo Woo Dude and Joe were talking about in reference to the WebBot data, in there at some point we would reach parity with gold. Well, I had Bill Holter on of JS Mindset, and he was saying that both he and also Jim Sinclair also believe that silver at some point here will reach parity with gold and perhaps even surpass it. So guys, just rewind the tape and listen to that again if you're not already into it. Absolutely. That's what I meant. It was already in his WebBot data. And these analysts are basically predicting the same thing here. And Mr. Gold, Jim Sinclair, was famous for predicting the $800 price of gold when it was only $60 or $80. So he's done this before, just looking at the math here behind the equation. Janine, you seem to be pulling cards there while we were talking about. Anything else you want to add on this before we start to do a round of the table here to get last words of wisdom from all of our guest speakers here?
Well, that's interesting. That one fell. So Nine of Cups is a desired outcome coming true. And it's could have come true a while back, but there's been holdups and setbacks. So I think the idea that a lot of this is orchestrated around everything, like the market going down while Mr. B is in power, I think that's all manipulated on the side of the shadow government, which is now Mr. T and the alliance. That's what I think is happening anyway. Yeah, so I think that desire that everybody has who loves silver, for it to reach those markers, I think that's going to happen because that's the Nine of Cups. So it says your wish will come true. There's just been setbacks. It could have, and this even indicates we already have our wish. It's already been created by the universe. That's all of those people desiring that's already created it. There's just been setbacks and holdups. So those are temporary. Fives are temporary, and this is just logistics.
Wow. That's fascinating. That's very well good news. So again, guys, if you're looking at getting some physical silver in your possession, beyondmystic.net/silver for the coupon codes here for the Beyond Mystic audience, and also for the Canadian audience now at mfbullion.ca. And what was the other screen I was trying to bring up here? Somebody was just asking, hey, JC, who were the winners of those silver bars that Janine and I were giving? We were giving away 2 100-ounce silver bars here to the audience last week. And let me bring that screen up here. We announced the winners on Friday's show with Bix Weir and Andy Scheckman. And the winners were Stephanie Petrecki. I'll just say from Arizona, not to dox her. So Stephanie Petrecki, that was the winner for the U.S. Pam Swiss 100-ounce bar. And for the Canadian winner, Marcel Lapointe from Welland. So both of you are getting emails directly from Andy to get your shipping info and getting that into the mail for you as soon as we can. So big congratulations to both of you for entering and winning that amazing draw for physical silver. And of course, go check out this episode with Bix Weir. We played his song, Pay Me My Silver Now. It was so apropos for this amazing contest. Julie, can I bring you back on the screen? We'll start doing a round of the table here. Anything else you want to share with the audience? Perhaps some things that are coming up in March or April, or generally speaking for 2022 as it pertains to moving into this age of spirituality in this new world of Aquarius as opposed to the old world of materiality. What can you tell the audience here before we go tonight?
Well, next week is going to be full of astrological events, as well financial news that's going to come out. So I think doing our inner work is going to be even more important to find our inner balance. So I personally have to get back to my meditation practice, my daily meditation practice. So I think everybody could benefit from just finding your inner balance, because we're going to be under lots of stress, lots of changes in the outside world. Well, we kind of know what's coming on, but we need to stay centered. So I think that's going to be the goal.
Very good advice. And folks, if you want more of that for free, you can find her, of course, here on YouTube at Maison Jupiter. And you can also book a tarot reading with her lovely sister, Sophie, who is through the roof in her testimonials. We've shared those with the audience here. You can do that at maisonjupiter.com. And of course, here as well, if you use Beyond Mystic as the coupon code, you'll get another 10% off of these bookings. Let's go to Joe next. Words of wisdom, Joe, for the next month or so for the audience.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had some dream information for you or whatever, but when I go to bed tonight, I'm going to say, Spirit, if you got something, let me know. Show me another dream and see if I can't get some. And of course, if I do it, I'll post it, but I'm locked out of YouTube for the next 7 days. Apparently, you get a stupid strike. But, look, we're going through changes. Everything that's happening has to happen. It's one of those things where you're a bystander, you're a participant. It doesn't matter. It's going to happen. And we're just trying to talk to you guys and give you ideas of things you could maybe do to help lessen the blow in some instances, or how to, soften the blow financially, perhaps. Again, you want to get some crypto, you want to buy some gold and silver. But again, gold and silver hasn't done much of the many, many years, but crypto has done amazing ups and downs. And if you can capture that, like your ice cream, as Woo Dude says, take your profit. You can pay debts off. You can I paid my freaking house off, I stuck with this long enough. So, you just got to hang in there, and we'll see what happens. Again, if I can get some dream information or whatever, they showed me a blackout. I can tell you that. And I'm not going to question it, because they've showed me so much crap that has happened in my life in the last 2 years. Thanks to Woo Dude hitting me up with that email that one day. Hey, Joe, get back to me if you want to progress. And I'm like, what the hell? Who's this guy?
Of course, right after I brought you to E-City and catapulted you on this whole trajectory.
That started it.
Dave. Yeah, it started the whole gang. Hey, Joe, before we leave, also for the folks here who are just getting started, maybe taking the course here, the Crypto Crash Course, and who might need an extra helping hand, tell them what you have here for them also on your Patreon at patreon.com/JSnip4.
Yep, my JSnip4 Crypto Woo, that middle one. It's $20 US a month. And I basically post what I get, get a download from a dream. Hey guys, it just showed me this, information on crypto or whatever, or Woo Dude just called and he just told me about this damn coin. It's, Shiba's about to go through the roof. Next week the thing, tripled. stuff like that. I posted on there because I just, it's crypto woo-woo. I talk a bit about other things like the blackout or something. I'll go post that. That isn't crypto, but I'm like, oh, that's useful information to people. So I just post my woo-woo stuff and the crypto stuff. I'm just trying to see if we can get other people to pay off their houses and their debts and stuff by doing basically what I did.
Joe, for the people who need maybe a little bit more hand-holding, do you have some room left in the Elite? And what does that look like? What can you help them with?
Yeah, so JSNIP 4 Elite plan is $40 a month, essentially. And that's when people can basically send me a private message. They got a question about something or whatever, and I'll reply to you. Or, hey, Joe, here's my portfolio. Am I in good coins, some crap coins? What do you think? And I'll look at their portfolio. Hey, yeah, you're missing 2 that I'd really say the rest of it looks good, but 2 of them, add these 2, things like that.
Okay. To be clear, people who are looking at this Elite package, they already have to have their exchange set up, their wallet set up. You're not going to do that for them and handhold it.
Yeah, no, you gotta kind of know what you're doing already. But again, we have our Crypto 101 stuff, and there's some how-to videos and stuff.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you for that, Joe. Richard, let me bring you up, and we'll get to Janine to end the show. Richard, the audience here can find you at woowoodude.com. Do you still have time? Are you still doing readings right now? What does the schedule look like? And also let them know here your words of wisdom here, moving into the March of March.
Yeah, I'm booked out into May, and so I've kind of shut it down a little bit, so I could catch up. And, people have called me, geez, it looks like you're booked till 2025. Well, no, I'm not. Okay. And I will be adding some time to it. But, everybody just needs to calm down a little bit here.
Yeah.
All right. And I've said for over a year to go through this time, and here we are. This is like a rhythm. And you need to flow with this energy. Having a little bit of cash, having some cryptos, and having some silver, you'll be able to ride this wave that's going to happen. Anybody that thinks it's just going to be straight across or like that, it's not. It's just going to flow. So try to go with this. It's a beautiful thing that's going to happen. This divine energy is truly occurring. Believe it. And, follow your heart. Just follow your heart. It'll be a beautiful thing. All right.
I love it. Thank you. It's all about the heart.
It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me bring up, before I bring Janine, this poster here from today. I interviewed Sarah, the truck driver that's in the truck right behind us there, and she had this big old heart right on the grill of her truck, and I interviewed her, and she was absolutely amazing. She talked about the love frequency again here in Ottawa, and I just love this picture because if you look at my mouse here, the triangle between Julie, Sarah up here, and Cliff, it makes a nice triangle, and with the heart in the middle, it very much looks like the Sun 10, which is a Reiki symbol for universal love. So very powerful imagery here, of course. Janine, back to you. Words of wisdom, anything, the cards. I saw you pull some cards there. What can you share with the audience here before we go?
Well, we are in for some shocking revelations, and a lot of people will wake up, and I think Julie mentioned that there was a date where there could be a lot of normies waking up at that date, because some really shocking things could come out about our governments and various things that have been going on, nonstop for the last 2.5 years. But the good news is, I'm going really big picture here. We get freed from the demonics. Yay. Okay. And we all become more comfortable eventually. So there's some rockiness in between and shocks. A lot of us already are prepared for those because we've done some gone down the rabbit holes. We've been watching shows like this. So we're ready. Those shocking things aren't going to be that as shocking for us because we've heard a lot of stuff already if you're watching shows like this, right? But the big picture is the universe and nature becomes more available. It's like the globalists want to take all of nature, like our properties away. They wanted, the big picture was they were trying to take everything beautiful that the world offers away from humans. and then take as many humans out of the picture as possible. That was in the next 10 years. And then they were going to, the rest, they were going to just put in little cubicles in these weird little makeshift cities, okay, where we were stacked all on top of each other. We'd own nothing, but, oh, we'd be happy because we'd be so MK altered, all of us. You know, when they're well on their way to having done that to a large part of the population, by the way, just look around at some of your relatives and people that you used to think were your friends, right? With everything that's going on, it's pretty obvious. We got brainwashing going on, right? So, but we're coming back to a more natural place, a more balance with the universe. Our systems are going to change, and they're not going to be run by any of these people anymore. Like, this is incredible, fantastic times we're living in. And it's going to be amazing. And we're going down the other side of that roller coaster here.
Wow.
And the truckers helped a lot, even though they weren't everything. They did embolden a lot of people all over the world. And so I'm thanking those truckers, I'll tell you. I'm thanking lots of people right now.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Janine. And I am so honored to be doing this work with all of you lovely gentlemen and ladies on the screen here tonight, and with all of you in the live chat. Guys, if you want to find more of Janine's wisdom, you can find her here at Sending Ravens on YouTube and also on Tarot by Janine. A big thank you to everyone who are supporting this show, either from the Insider Access Pass and also from the PayPal tip jar. Susan says, great show tonight. Thank you for all you do, JC. Thank you. Appreciate that. Joanne, thank you, JC, Janine, Julie, Richard, and Joe. Blessings to all of you. Thank you so much for that. And Brigitte, thank you, JC, for your tireless efforts bringing current news and information. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, guys. And thank you to everyone who found me on Parliament Hill again today to shake my hand and to thank me for the work that I'm doing. It makes all of the difference in the world to see you guys smile and to give me hugs and handshakes. It was just absolutely beautiful. And it brought tears to both Sarah and my eyes here today. So a big thank you to all of you guys. And just to let you know, also, this is the live stream schedule for the next couple of days. As you can tell, really busy, lots of shows coming up. But in the next couple of days here, Janine back tomorrow night. We'll see if we're doing an Ottawa specific show or not. We will change the poster accordingly to the events that are happening here during the day. I might be reporting again live from Parliament Hill. And Tuesday night, Odyssée Galactique, l'épisode en français avec Julie, we might do a French report here of the siege of Ottawa. So depending again on how events transpire. And don't forget, on Thursday night, back again are the Divine Feminine Oracles for the Thursday night show. That's going to be at 8 o'clock Eastern with the amazing Sophie and Julie. Guys, if you haven't done so already, please remember to like, share, and subscribe here on my third backup channel. And also check out my Rumble, where we are now streaming also in simulcast. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here tonight. This was the Siege of Ottawa All-Stars special report of the Freedom Convoy here. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great evening, and we'll see you soon, everyone. Au revoir.
Au revoir.